Okay, the recording has started. I'm just going to do a quick recap. I want to actually capture this roadmap also to in the recording, so I don't have to go over it again, right? So yeah, when we started the call, we discussed about the DevOps career, the DevOps program, this mentorship program, and what to expect. So that's in a separate video, right? And I also talked about careers, also to how to choose a career in the industry, in the IT industry. So I said that the career choosing, right, it's mostly depend on your passion, right, and your interest. And I try to place all the careers into categories. I started from the product owner. The product owner are the guys that owns the product. They are the people that understand what the stakeholders want and what the customers want, right? So we call them product owner. They are the owner of the product. And if you don't do what they want, the project is not successful yet. So moving on to the next category are the Scrum Masters. So the Scrum Masters and the product owner, their job might seem similar, but they are not actually similar. They're actually different. The job of the Scrum Master is to ensure that the decision and the I'm trying to look for that word. The decision and the interest of the product owner is met. So the job of the Scrum Master is to coordinate all the engineers working on that project to ensure that the product, because once the product owner is happy, the stakeholders are happy, and the customers are happy. So we have the product owner. So if you want to go into a career for product owner, it's possible. If you want to find your career in Scrum Master, it is what it is possible. So the Scrum Master that ensure everyone is doing their job, the DevOps engineer, the software developers, the UI UX engineer, the compliance, the law, and everybody. So Scrum, so each team have their own Scrum Master, and then we can have a Scrum of Scrum. You get. Then the next category in that list is the software developers. And I said software developers are into they are front end engineers and they are back end engineers. Right? The front end engineers are those people that gives you all those nice features you click. For instance, in your Facebook, all those nice interface you see. The front end engineers are actually those people that built it. And the back end engineers are the people that do the things, the logic and the functions. When you click a like button, there's some processes that run at the back. When you upload your picture, when you upload your face on TikTok, there's some things that run at the background. All those functions, all those logics, some backend engineers are responsible for it. Right. So we have the front end, we have the backend engineers. And then we also have the UI UX guys. The UI UX guys I like them a lot in the team because they're the one that brings imagination to everything you are doing, right? No matter what the product owner is saying, developers cannot understand. Let him explain the vision from now till tomorrow. Developers will understand. But once they see a picture, especially front-end engineers, once they see a picture that, oh, love button should be here, like button should be here, picture should be here, they understand immediately and they begin to turn those things into code. So it is the UI UX engineers that brings imagination to everything. That's what they do. So it's very possible user interface, user experience. They must ensure that the users have good experience. If they can't place like button at the top of the page, that is not a good experience. You know, there's some site you use some website and you're like, your website really, what kind of website is this? You don't like the website, you don't have a good experience. Then the product owner has failed, the UI UX guys has failed. Going down the list is now where we have the DevOps engineers. They are the infrastructure guys. They are in charge of the infrastructure, right? They are the one that makes things work also too, right? They are the core of the team. They build the infrastructure. They make sure that everything is available for the developers to deploy their code. Then the SRE guys, these are the guys that monitors. They happen at post deployment. Once everything has been deployed, they want to ensure that everything is optimized, everything is working as expected, and they want to ensure that customers are not facing issues. So they are the monitoring team. So I said that in choosing, I've given you the categories. I didn't write them here. I just tried to list them here. But in choosing your category, passion and interest is very important. Passion is the fuel that carries you, especially when you're tired, when you're bored. You understand? So you must look at your passion. What do you have passion for? What do you have interest for? I can tell you what made me choose DevOps was that I have interest, I have passion in making solutions. I was into embedded systems earlier on because I just have that flick for looking at a problem and crafting out a solution. So in a very good way, in a very high way, DevOps talks to me. So I'm not just doing DevOps to make money only. I'm doing DevOps to sharpen my own passion, sharpen my interest because there's more thing waiting for me in the future. I might not do DevOps in the next 5 years, but it is something that is in my pathway. So look at something that interests you, look at your passion, and that can help you for your career. Then skill development, you must develop your skills. Once you find a passion, you must develop it. You must set career goals in the next 6 months. For instance, I've given you a roadmap. You can say that for the next 6 months, I want to tick 3 things in this roadmap. You understand? You must set goals, and if your goals are not time bounded, you will not really achieve success. So you need to time bound your goals like SMART. There's this SMART acronym. So you need to set goals and put bound to it. And I also said that before you choose your career, look at the economy. With this career being in demand for the next 5 years, not the next 1 year, for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years, for the next 15 years, will this still be in demand? Okay, will people still be responding and be looking for this value? It is very, very important. So then network with people, right? Meet people, talk to people. This is what I do, this is what I do. From there, you can see someone that will connect you to another person, and boom, you have it. Internship and experience. As I said earlier, don't look for money at the beginning. Look for where you can work for free for some people to gain experience, to gain connection. And then if you have the money, do certifications. Yeah, it's very important. Okay, so yeah, I think there's cyber security also too in this thing. And there's database administration, those with that manage database. Okay, so that is how about the career. I decided to do an overview again so that I can capture it in the recording. So the next thing I'll just quickly run through again is the roadmap. So I can capture it in the recording also too. So this roadmap is to help us arrange the knowledge we're going to be learning so that we don't learn them in a scattered manner. Okay, so you can say that for the next 1 month, I want to ensure that I have completed 1, 2, 3, 4. This can help you guide and make career goals. So introduction to DevOps. It is very important that it's very important that before you learn something, understand the basic knowledge. You understand? Understand what it means to be that thing. So that is why you are going to be doing this introduction. It's going to be general knowledge of DevOps. Learn the history of DevOps, the benefit, the culture, the reason why DevOps comes into play. That will be what we're going to learn in the introduction. Okay. Then after that, we're going to learn operating system. So operating system is very key, especially for those that don't have IT backgrounds. So learning operating system is going to help you understand what makes the system tick, what makes the system to become a system, what will make your PC to work. And at the core, what is operating system itself? What is the history of operating system? This is a very valuable information because you're going to later find the usefulness down the line. I said earlier on that most hackers that I've seen, they're always interested in what make things work, what is sticking behind the PC. That's why they can be very smart, and that is why they can manipulate because they have a lot of information. Yeah. So the next thing is what is virtual machines. So virtual machines are core. They are important. I said earlier on that you can't, even though you have a beautiful chairs, a nice chandelier, you can't put them under the tree of mango now. You have wasted your money. You need a house to put them. That is where virtual machine comes in. So virtual machine is that house that hosts the applications. An operating system is useless without a virtual machine. And a virtual machine is an empty box without an operating system. You get, and the developers, after writing their code and everything, if there is no virtual machine to deploy it, in fact, without virtual machine safe, they can't even write the code because their PC is actually a machine, right? Running with an operating system. right? So virtual machines, operating system, they are core knowledge you need to have. You will learn a lot about virtual machines and how to create them, right? You will learn about data centers and stuff like that. So the next thing is software development lifecycle. As I said earlier on, this is very key. You need to understand the software development lifecycle. You need to understand how developers works, how they think, how they arrange their code. You need to learn the agile methodology, right? So having this knowledge, because as a DevOps engineer, you're going to interface with everyone in the team. So don't just be interested in learning virtual machines and operating system, or learning the DevOps tools. You must learn some other things that is very important to other teams that you're going to be working with. You are everyone customers in the team, the DevOps, the developers, the Scrum guys, the product guys, the UI guys. You are their customer. They are your customer, and you have to serve them. So learning about software development lifecycle gives you some knowledge into agile methodology and the history of software development lifecycle and why DevOps came into play. You get. Then the next thing is what is Linux administration. I said earlier on that Linux is the foundation. You can't build a house without first laying a proper foundation, not just a foundation, a proper foundation. Because if the foundation is not properly laid, you'll bear the consequence later in the future. So Linux administration is key. Every other thing you'll be learning in this roadmap, one way or the other, we find our way back to Linux administration, virtual machines, operating systems, and everything. So in this Linux administration, you learn what is Linux. You learn everything about the Linux environment. Everything about the Linux environment. That's what you're going to learn. SSH, files, SCP, how to run Linux, different Linux commands. You will learn everything in this Linux administration. It is key. If you are proficient in Linux, trust me, you can work in anywhere. There are some bigger companies that they just have some department for Linux. There's like Linux admin guys. Those most you find those guys mostly in data centers, in companies that run data centers. If you go to AWS for instance now, you're going to see a lot of Linux engineers, like crazy Linux engineers. You might not see a lot of DevOps, right? But you see a lot of crazy Linux engineers like messing and manipulating the systems, because you are just operating the website, clicking, doing different things. You don't know what is going on at the back end. But these Linux engineers are working day and night so that you can do Google search, so that you can click on Facebook, so that you can upload your video on TikTok, so that you can sort internet like Twitter. The Linux admin guys are working day and night to ensure this. You get. So networking too is key. It's very key. You must understand IPs. All right. You must understand IP. You must understand subnettings, because these things are key, especially when you are troubleshooting. There's a part where you need your networking skill. There's a part where you need your Linux skill. So these are different tools that must be in your arsenal. As an army, you can't be going to a war with a revolver only. You understand? Your kit must be complete. There must be medical kits. There must be different kind of armors for different purposes. You must even have a knife. So all these things are very important. For instance, it might be troubleshooting why an instance or a VM is not reaching from the internet, and you find out that, oh, this guy only has one IP address. So you need to know this IP address, is it private or public? I need to know. Private IPs are not routable over the internet. But if you don't have that information, you just like, this thing is not working, this thing is not working. But when you have that information that, oh, private IP are not routable over the internet, oh, give this VM a public IP, and then you can reach it. Or maybe there's a reason why that guy was given only a private IP. Then with your networking skills, there's a way we can make that instance still reachable. You understand? That's where Bastion or NAT gateway comes in. But you need to have what networking skills. Then the next thing is what is version control system. This is important because you're going to use it a lot. Git, the basic Git commands. This is where we learn things like GitHub, GitLab, how to write code and push it to a repository. So a repository is like is like a platform where we can collaborate because Tommy is writing a code, Michael is writing a code, Ifeanyi is writing a code. There's a need for a platform to bring everything together so that the DevOps guy can see that, okay, this is the code and then we can deploy. So I can't finish writing code now. I'll now board a bus and go to Michael house and say, yeah, Michael, this is the code. Where that might not be the case if you are working in an office. So let's say it's an office environment. So Michael will now stand up from his table, take a system to Abraham, say, Abraham, this is the code. Yeah, copy it and copy it to your system. Stuff like that. But when there is a version control, you push it to a repository, wherever you are in the world, then maybe AY can just download the repository and begin to do magic. So that is where version control system comes in. So there are sometimes maybe Michael code is not working and Tommy code is working. So instead of them pushing to the same branch, Michael can have his own branch, right? Tommy can have his own branch. So before we make the branch works, before we merge the branch together, we can know which branch is working and which branch is not working. There's some things that we can do in CI/CD pipelines, right? When we get there, you see that. So there's a version control system, and there's cloud computing, right? So this cloud is as I've said earlier, it's the infrastructure itself, right? So when I say cloud, it's not the sky. So cloud is just like a set of servers living somewhere that you have the ability to rent, right? So a cloud is a collection of servers. So we have some cloud services like AWS, GCP, and Azure, right? So this in this course, we're going to start with AWS majorly, but I'm going to show you a little of GCP, but I'm not promising Azure. But if I have any of my friend that knows Azure and anyone wants to learn Azure, I can bring him on board and then we can learn Azure, but AWS and GCP. So you're going to learn how to spin resources in AWS, how to create resources in GCP. You're going to learn how to create a full-blown architecture, a full-blown infrastructure. I mean, in AWS. You understand? Some of our big companies like Money Point are basically running in the clouds. They are running, if they are not running in AWS, they are running in GCP. If they are running in GCP, they are running in Azure, definitely. Now, some companies still have what we call data center where they manage their own servers. So cloud, what cloud means is that you're actually deploying in a server, but that server is not your own. It's not being managed and maintained by you, but you pay for what you use. But there are some what we call on premises or private data centers. It means that you own the building, you use your money to buy the server, and you're responsible for the lifespan, the security of that server. So some companies, because of data policies, so they still have their own private server where they store their own some private data and stuff like that. But Money Points, Huda, OPA, all these things. At least I know of. How am I forgetting this company now? It's because they offer me rubbish money. That's why I'm not remembering their name very well. But I'll not say it because this is recording. So these people run on different clouds. You get. So then the next one is what is continuous integration and continuous deployment, which is CI/CD. You get. So this is where you begin to apply automation to the things that you do. You will learn different things like GitHub Actions, GitLab CI. So majorly for this program, we're going to be looking at Jenkins, GitHub Actions, and maybe GitLab CI. But once you learn GitHub Actions or GitLab CI, you can understand Azure DevOps, Zapier CI, and everything because they are both written in YAML file, except for Jenkins that uses DSL, domain specific language. Okay, and then configuration management, Ansible. So we talked about the virtual machines the other time and operating system. So let's assume that you want to install something in your virtual machine and you created maybe 100, let's say at the beginning you created two VMs in AWS now, right? And you install maybe npm or Java or Python on it. So let's imagine that you now have 50 servers or 100 servers. Are you now going to SSH, right? You will learn SSH in Linux. So you can see I'm connecting these things together. You will learn SSH in Linux administration. So let's say you now SSH into this VM you created here in AWS. So I'm now going to SSH into 50 servers. You'll be tired though. So that's where configuration management comes in. From a single point of view, from a single server, right, or from a single VM, I can talk to 50 or 100 VMs. I can run commands, right? I can send a command from this single VM to hundred of VMs or hundred of servers. That's where configuration management comes in from a single point of view. Ansible does that for us. It's very sweet. Then the next thing is infrastructure as code. I said earlier on that you go into AWS or GCP, you create one VM, you do all the things that you need to do. Then tomorrow they say create 50. So before you know, you now start doing it manually. And you know AWS has plenty console or GCP has they have a lot of console. You click this, you select, you select, one VM done. You are going to 50. You select, two done. Before you know, you retired. And by the time you get to number 10, you retired. When you have things like IAC, you can define your infrastructure as a code. The way developers write code, right? The way they write code to make WhatsApp work, you can turn your infrastructure into code. So you can just write a line of code that says create 10 EC2 instance in AWS and then use your CI/CD to apply it, and then boom, you have 10 EC2 instance in AWS. So that is where infrastructure as code comes in. So you can see the way I connect infrastructure as code to CI/CD. So once those EC2 instances are up and running, I can now use configuration management Ansible to now install Python in everything. You get. So that is, you can see how they are connected together. Then we have containers orchestration, so like Kubernetes, and then we have GitOps, and then we have monitoring. So Kubernetes is a containerized environment where you turn your applications into containers. And then we have Argo CD, and then we have monitoring also too. So that is that about the roadmap. Okay, so on our roadmap, introduction to DevOps, right? That is what I'm not going to be doing today, right? I'm just going to introduce you to DevOps. I'm not going to read everything word for word. You get. So I'll give you access to this document, and then at the end of this document, there are videos that you need to watch and blogs that you need to read. You get. So it's going to be very important. So introductory class. So we're going to talk about introduction to DevOps, DevOps principle and cultures, then CI/CD and DevOps and DevOps tools and technology, and real world case studies. So just a brief history of DevOps, right? Getting from the internet from Wikipedia, can be tracked back to the early 2000s when there was a growing need for more and efficient collaborative approach to software development. So you can see a more efficient and collaborative approach. So I'll give you a story. I'll give you a story to this. I'll give you a story today. So initially, developers and system admin guys. The system admin guys are those people that manage the infrastructure, the servers, and they love the server so much they don't want anything to happen to it. But developers, they are just interested in writing code. They don't care what happens to your server. So these two teams works in isolation. So the developers, in their own big and magic word as the boss, they write the code and they zip it up and send it over, like throw it over the block. They are not even seeing the system admin guys. They just send it over to them maybe via email and give them instructions. Run this command and install this application. So there was no collaboration between these two people. The developers will have finished writing all the codes before you now send it to the system admins. The system admins will now start running the commands and like, hey, this code is not working on my PC. You understand? And the developer was like, why is it not working on your PC? It's working on my own PC. You get? Or after installing the application, they'll now find out that there's a lot of bugs in the application, a lot of security concern in the application, or they can find out that some features are not working as expected. The system admin will now go back again and tell the developers. So you can see the problem in that approach of work. So that is where DevOps begin to come in out. We need a way to collaborate. We need a way to automate the process of installation. And we need a way such that there's a continuous integration, such that as the developer is writing their code, right, it is immediately integrated into the mainstream, deployed and tested so that we can catch each issues earlier. So you are going to dive more into that in CI/CD. So, and then also too, we also need a way to monitor and give feedback to the developers. That's where SRE came in. So the problem was to bring in collaboration. That was the major problem. Please, 1 minute. This call is very important. Sorry. So sorry about that. So that is how DevOps came in. In summary, I'm going to give you this document, you read about it. So it is to ensure collaboration, to ensure automation, so that the developers and the system admin guys, they don't have to fight all the time. So that at the beginning of the application, they can bring it together as one team, right, and understand these things. You get, sorry, just one important thing. So in order to take away all this pain and all this process, we try to bring two of them together and ensure that they can work together as one team. And the truth is, the developers and the system admins, they want to achieve the same goal. What is the goal? To deploy applications, to make the business get revenue, to make the stakeholders happy. It's just that the approach is what is different. So what are the benefit DevOps brings into this? Faster delivery, improved reliability, and enhanced collaboration and cost efficiency. One of the things you need to have as a DevOps engineer is good communication skills. So if you notice, the DevOps engineers, right, are kind of acting as the system admin guys now because you know it's managing infrastructure. So most sysadmins guys are being converted into DevOps. So I used to say I don't see DevOps as a role. I see DevOps as a what? As a concept. I get it now. I don't see DevOps as a role. I see it as a concept. I see it as a method, an approach to solve a problem, right? So that is how I see DevOps. I don't see, oh, fine, they say I'm a DevOps engineer. You say I'm a DevOps this, I'm a DevOps that. But at its core, DevOps is a method. It's actually an idea. It's a philosophy that we have applied to solve a problem. So a DevOps engineer is an engineer that applies DevOps principles or DevOps philosophies to solve a problem. Do you get that? So that is what DevOps is. So one other thing again I would like to share with you is that for me as a person, in my own point of view, I see DevOps as a two side of a coin. DevOps as a concept, as I said earlier, and DevOps as a tool. You get it? So when you talk about DevOps as a concept, there are some key concepts in DevOps I want to look about. Collaboration, automation, right? Continuous integration and continuous deployment, IAC, and monitoring and feedback, right? So those are the key concepts we have in DevOps, and these concepts are actually solving a problem. Let's take for instance the collaboration aspect. The collaboration aspect there is to solve the friction between developers and system admins or the infrastructure guys or any other team or the QA engineers because developers does not have issue only with DevOps guys. They have issue with the QA engineers. They're like, why you just testing these things now? I've tested them once and there's no this bug. Or developers after 1 month of writing a code, the QA will just come back say, I detected this code. Meanwhile, when we introduce DevOps, as developers are writing the code, QA, because of the automated process, QA is detecting the bugs immediately. You understand? So not that we have to wait for months for developers to write all the code finish, bring it to when I start testing. As they are writing, they are deploying and we are testing. That is where the CI/CD comes in. So as they are deploying and testing, we catch failure on time, we catch errors on time, we catch bugs at the earlier stage of the deployment. So everyone is what is happy. So you can see the DevOps concept solving the problem there. So the DevOps engineer is that person that understands those concepts and bring them into play. So I want you to understand the difference between DevOps and DevOps engineer. Another thing again is infrastructure as code. It is not really easy to manage infrastructure, right? Especially when there are tons of server to manage. There will always be human error. But the DevOps concept introduces what we call infrastructure as code. So as a DevOps engineer, once you understand that concept, you will know how to solve that issues of messy environment, of messy servers. You get what I'm saying now? So DevOps as a concept, you need to understand those concepts very well. Those concepts help you to make good decisions. You get those concepts what helps you to make good decisions. Another thing I would like to the concept also to is communication. You must have good communication skills because everyone is your customer. You must be able to communicate effectively. They must be able to understand what you are saying at every point in time. I've seen in many job descriptions ability to communicate very well or communication skills as the case may be. So collaboration, automation, infrastructure as code, monitoring and feedback, right, is very important as a key concept in DevOps. Okay. And then another aspect is I see DevOps as a tool. So don't forget that these concepts, they are philosophies, right? They are just there as an idea. But for you to bring them to life, we need a tool to bring them to life. For instance, now let's look at collaboration. What tool do you think we use to collaborate? That's where we have source code management, GitHub, things like Jira. So all of us can come together. Let me take Jira as an example. You can check it out. Jira is a project management tool, and those are what the Scrum Masters use. So they can bring everybody to the call: developers, UI UX, DevOps engineers, QA engineers. QA are what we call quality assurance. And man, they do that people that test the codes to ensure it is working. So you can make everyone to the call. What do we want to do? What do we want to achieve? So they'll break it down into smaller goals. They'll break the goals into smaller tasks and then begin to assign the task to each engineer, either DevOps or developers. So you can see where collaboration comes in. And that collaboration is a very key concept in DevOps. So we can use the Jira tool, we can use the source code management also too. So that one developers will not be writing one code here, and another will write another code here. But when there is collaboration, developers at every point in time can exchange codes and bring their codes together to achieve one function. For instance, automation. Another tool we can use to achieve automation is what is the CI/CD tools, things like Jenkins, GitHub Actions, a lot of automation tools out there. Even shell scripting can be used as what to achieve a tool also too. So I'm trying to let you understand that DevOps is of two sides, the concept and the tools. But the issue is that people rush to go and learn the tools. People rush to go and learn the tools that I want to know how to use Terraform. I want to know how to use GitHub Actions. I want to know how to use Jenkins. And they become half-baked engineers. The thing is, understand the concept. Learn the concept very well. You get learn the concept very well. Once you learn the concept very well, you understand what it is. Then you can begin to learn the tools, the version control tools, the CI/CD tools. I think I didn't add the collaboration tools here. Collaboration tools are things like Jira. I can even add it. Collaboration. It's a but I don't mind me. I know English. I can spell this thing very well. Don't mind me. You can use Jira. The other project management tools there. There's another one called Trello. That's what I can remember for now. So a lot of project management today. So the tools are little things that helps you to achieve that. I'm coming. My system has disconnected. So those tools that then helps you to achieve that that concept. Okay, and let me share back my screen. You get so don't rush to go and learn the tools. Understand the concept, then begin to learn the tools. Because once you understand the concept, when you are faced with a problem, because you understand some concept, you can say, "Oh, I can use this concept to solve this too." They can say, as a DevOps engineer, I can tell you that I'm just going to make a very simple example. There's always a pain when we want to create a new infrastructure because we have to click a lot. We have three environments: dev, prod, and staging. And when we create a VM in dev and everything is working, we have to go through the same 100 steps to create a VM and use it again. So this is a lot of problem for us. As a DevOps engineer, immediately the concept comes into play that, oh, we can use infrastructure as code and automation to do this. And because you understand the concept, you can say, okay, well, for infrastructure and code, the tools to use are Terraform and Jenkins or GitHub Actions. So you can see how those two things comes in place. You get what I'm saying? But for instance, you only know the tools and they are telling you about a problem of monitoring, but you are telling them to use GitHub Actions. GitHub Actions does not do monitoring. You get the problem is to use things like Prometheus and here, okay. So, and when you are selecting a tool, it is very important you select the tool. You need to understand the goals of the company. You need to understand, you need to check the tools if it has a large community. Because when you face issues, you need support. You want to ensure that a lot of people are using the tools and stuff like that. So don't just choose any tool because what you like it. So that is the introduction to DevOps. There are some videos here I want you to watch. I'll, at the end of this class also too, there are some blogs I will add that you are going to read and watch just for you to understand. So I hope with this free point of mine, I'm able to convince and not convince you that DevOps is a nice career. Any question? All right. So in summary again, before I stop the recording, in summary, in this today's class that we have started, we discussed about this program and the things you're going to expect in this program. That's in a separate video. We also discussed about careers, and then we also discussed about the roadmap, and then we treated the first thing in the roadmap, which is the introduction to DevOps. So that is what today's class is about. I hope it has been worth it for you. So I'll stop the recording now so that you can begin to ask your questions. Thank you.